talk about, focus on today. So from what I understand is the whole vision behind it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to provide a convenient way for people to access, counselors and like mental health services through the platform. But I also understand that the story behind it came from yours and Khala's personal experiences with mental health and so on. And I always think that anyone who's entered the mental health field, that's where everyone has gone through something, and they understand how it feels to have been there. So they want to, create something to help other people not feel that way as well. So could you just walk us through what was your experience in the past, maybe with mental health, and why did you realize that this is something that you were so passionate about that you wanted to help others with?
Yeah, I mean, for Khala, actually, she came to me with this thing like, Inas, I've been through a mental health challenge. I mean, post the delivery of her baby, I mean, things were a bit tough, but it helped her to realize the importance of this. And as she was actually based in the DC at that time, she was aware of different solutions that they are available globally, but that actually didn't reflect so much understanding of our culture and our needs. So it wasn't very much, a great solution and accessible even for her. So we had that discussion, and actually it happened to me, it came across to me after I lost my dad, which has been, my dad is actually everything for me. He's been my inspiration, my guidance, my support, my #1 fan, everything, and that was like a turning point in my life. I mean, I believe that my eyes did change. The way I see things has been completely changing. And I would say there is a great support and from family and friends. Alhamdulillah, God has been always guiding me through this. Yet, when you go through some tough times, it just helped me to realize the importance of mental health. And that was my discussion with Khawla. So when it came across, it did make really sense to me, because when sometimes you feel like khalas, you cannot breathe, you lose your breath. I mean, these attacks that happens and all of that, like you feel like really a proper support is much needed, and actually a clinical one that even I believe it can be of a great help. So it did make sense to us. We understand that all happened actually pre-COVID, right? So
Okay.
we wanted to, all of this was really pre-COVID. There were some studies even about the depression rates and anxiety rates in UAE and in the region, and they are higher than the average globally. So we were like shocked, yeah. So there is, the need is there. Everyone knows about it. The stigma is still there though, right? So even now with the COVID, people, they understand the importance of mental health and mental care support, but they are not taking the first action towards it, right? It's taking the first step is still taking people time. There is a lot of awareness, discussion, everyone says, yes, I need it, but how many of us actually is doing something towards their mental health care and mental well-being care is, I would say some started, but still there is a lot of work that needs to be done to help people take that very much first step. Because our approach in Takalam is, we are not a clinic, right? We are there to provide mental health support, right? There we have counselors, we have some psychiatrists, psychologists, mental health therapists, all of them, they're there. I mean, we are very much selective with our approach. We look at them as our partners in this. So we are selective. However, what is really important is to get people understand what is how much, and make it very much simple for them to start taking that first step and start their journey with the mental health. That's very much important, right? We make it simple. We are confident about our team. We're confident about our solution. So that's what we've been really after. Once we realized the need, which is, it was reflected for us in our daily life. I mean, we've seen it as people around us. We studied it, like initial study about market research. It was proven. But then what's the solution? And I believe we are on a daily mission to make this solution more and more convenient, accessible, and affordable. And our work on this will not stop. I will not tell you at any point, khalas, we've done it. You know, there should be, I mean, it's work in progress, and every day comes with its learnings, but we are, I would say, proud of what we have achieved so far. especially that as we did come across this pre-COVID. I mean, it was for people, something like when you speak about it, and we had few discussions, like it's really of a big taboo. I would say that COVID, if it did anything good, it was the awareness that it did on, it did surface out all of the issues. Like if anyone was having OCD, like initial, I mean, with the COVID, it did pick up, right? If any anxiety, it did. I mean, this is what I'm seeing it around. It's like, it's crazy how it did bring it all out. But I believe as well, it is great if people, they start taking the action, they understand the importance of this, and they start taking care of it. Mental well-being is just like physical well-being. It's like if you are going to the gym to take care of your body, you really need to take care of the brain in that body, right? And that is taking care of that body, your brain. So it doesn't always also require having an issue or a challenge in your mental health to start actually receiving mental health care. This is how we're trying to normalize it. A lot that needs to be done to make that happen. Especially that, as mentioned by WHO and the United Nations, that this is the next pandemic, right? Mental health crisis. And for that, we cannot wear masks. It will not help. We need to be way more ready for this. Like, a lot needs to be done. So it really makes us happy to see a lot of initiatives, a lot of other businesses, a lot of other projects that they are happening towards this. And I believe, I really look forward to seeing how this will actually convert or translate into actions and plans for the users and our communities, them starting taking actions towards their mental health and mental care.
Yeah, so many points that I agree with you on. First of all, so I've recently been doing research myself about what I had an idea being in the field, but I wanted to get an idea of like actual statistics about UAE and what's the mental health perspective over here. And I was shocked that, like you said, so before COVID in 2019, the government said that mental health was one of the top illnesses in the UAE. And now, given everything that's happened, I can imagine it has just skyrocketed since. And I was looking at some statistics that in the UAE, mental health issues are higher across the board compared to the global average in terms of burnout, in terms of feeling helpless, and in terms of how it affects families. So there's a huge demand for this, and there's a huge need for it, especially like in the UAE and in the region. But like you said, and there's something I want to touch